first. Could everybody rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, on the roll call.
Kevin Scramlin.
Here.
Janelle Keller. Here. Teresa Bills.
Here.
Jim Christopher.
Here.
Keith Wiederhold.
Excuse.
Excused.
All right, I guess we all know why we're here, because of the glorious lightning strike that we had. Took out a bunch of goodies, but mainly what we're here for is the firewall was taken out, the switch was taken out, Janelle's computer was taken out.
Sorry, everyone.
No, you're fine. With that being said, luckily, Teresa, I'd like to say thank you. Teresa did a lot of work getting all this together. A lot of work getting this all together. Luckily, since we discussed cybersecurity and new computers at the last May meeting, we have 3 bids together. So the long and the short, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we're going to change firewalls, we need to decide which company we are going with so that we can use their firewall. So with that being said, Teresa, I know you have the numbers in front of you. Did you want to lay them out a little bit?
Yeah, sure I can. So I did send out, well, Janelle sent out the 3 proposals from the 3 companies. One of the proposals, and I'm going to explain this a little bit more so that people who are watching maybe get a little more information. But so our current company is VC3. We have had IT Right for years, and they were bought out by VC3 several years ago. And it really just hasn't been the same, but they were affordable. They were supposed to be raising their rates at some point. And you might recall, Jim, that they had a contract where they said it was going to be $572, and then it was going to go up to $700 and something, and then it was going to go up to almost $900, I think, over the 3 years. Well, they never raised, they didn't escalate. So we just we stayed with VC3 for a couple extra years, even though we were sort of month to month with them. We are currently not under contract, correct? So when we decided we were going to increase cybersecurity, because that was a goal that we all had, I went ahead and got 3 different quotes. I asked for recommendations from other municipalities and so on, and Janelle gave me one that she had found at a conference. And so start with VC3. So VC3, their quote is $889.30 per month. That is for what they call, you know what, I'm just gonna call it safety and security and cybersecurity, okay? They do all the monitoring of everything at user end and behind the scenes. So right now, VC3, if we need them to come out here for anything, they charge us extra. So for instance, this week with the problems that we've had, we've discovered when we finally got, Comcast came out here, Xfinity came out here on Tuesday, I think it was, Tuesday afternoon. So we were able to contact them. They sent a technician out here that afternoon, and he was pretty thorough, but he can only go so far in the technology back there because he's only allowed to touch the Xfinity stuff. But he told us, your firewall is fried. Well, we knew something was wrong because our computers don't connect to our server, okay? So Janelle has been back and forth on the phone with VC3 to get some quotes and to figure out what's wrong. And so we have had, mixed reviews with our communication with VC3 this past week. It just seems to have been like, here we are Thursday, and we still don't have a return call that states, this is your ticket number, and we're solving this for you. They gave us a quote, $1,600 for a new firewall, $1,600 for new switch, which is what all of our computers have to plug into down in the basement before going to the server. So that got damaged. We don't know yet if the server is damaged because not everybody can even get into it. We can't access our applications, like we can't get into anything, we can't go online. So we don't know yet what the damage is to that. But then they were charging us $1,600 for labor to come out and install that, okay? So this is what led us to thinking, well, we need to up our cybersecurity anyway, and we have a couple quotes from other companies. One of the companies, you know, like each of them would come in and they would install a new firewall to begin with anyways, because that's part of their quote. So if we're going to spend the money on something, we decided now, in fact, in light of the fact that, you know, our firewall needs to be replaced before we can even proceed any farther, that's why we decided to escalate this decision to today, because it will impact, you know, if we decide to go with VC3 and continue with it, if we just said, okay, we'll just have them come out here and fix this, then we're pretty much committed to VC3 for our cybersecurity, or we just have to turn around and perhaps change things around once we choose one of the other companies. So it sort of forced us to make this decision earlier, okay? So with that in mind, that VC3 definitely is charging for labor, charging for the firewall, charging for the switch. We decided, well, let's talk to these other companies and see what they would do. So I say that because the price difference between VC3 doing what they are, I'm sorry, I need to back up one thing. Our current plan that we have with VC3 is not as effective, it's not as comprehensive in the cybersecurity areas. We basically have a cloud protect, a data retention, and Microsoft licensing, multi-factor authentication. We have what they call their Protect Shield, but we really don't have municipal server support. This is what their words, not mine. So I have on, you know, this set of notes what they suggest we need in addition to what we currently have, and that's why their price went to $889 a month, okay? They also charge, and I couldn't find this right up, but I think because we can't get online or anything else, and they haven't returned my calls, I tried to verify their hourly rate if they send somebody out here. But the $1,600 they were gonna charge us for installing the new equipment in the basement kind of indicates to me, I think they're around $160 an hour, and I think I saw that number somewhere.
I think it was, what did I give you yesterday? Wasn't it the service fee was like 200?
212,
Something? Yeah.
206, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
That's correct, that's
Yeah.
right.
And I do think they had planned, even though that wouldn't make sense with the 1,600, but I'm sure there was travel. I think they told me it would be about 4 hours to replace it.
Okay, okay, so they were gonna charge
Maybe that's
us,
travel time too.
yeah, so they're charging us $1,600 to replace that,
Yeah.
and what they said would take 4 hours. So,
Right.
so basically, I mean, maybe it would take 8, I don't know, but their monthly fee or their hourly fee is around, let's say 200, okay? Most everything we have done over the past however many years has been remote support. They remote in, they figure things out, we call them, they rarely come out to this building for technical support. Like most everything we do, they handle from wherever they're at, right?
If I could add to that too, just a piece of information. We have had, like you said, Comcast came out right away to see if we could fix the problem. Our phone company came out, repaired everything. VC3 has still not this week been out to this building. I just think that's important information for us to know. They know that this was an issue and they still have not been
Our
out.
phone company was outstanding.
Yes, they were. They were. I think that you might have at some point directed us to maybe, no?
Start to start.
Years ago?
I think that was Dave Axe's.
Oh, okay. Well, they
Yeah.
have been phenomenal. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just didn't mean to.
No, that's fine.
But
You
I
can
think
piggyback
that's
on that.
important to.
I
know.
agree. So we cannot continue with VC3 the way that we're doing it right now. Like they have said, no, we're raising your price to this anyway because you don't have the coverage you need, and we didn't escalate when we were supposed to, so we caught it. Now we're raising your price. So bottom line is that VC3 is going to increase, and if we don't make a decision to change from them, we're gonna be paying $889 a month anyway. Like that's our new price, okay? So, the next one that I'm just gonna go upwards price-wise. So the next expensive one would be a company called BlackRock. I should say, I'm not really sure where VC3 is located. Their people are located all over the country, which, that's just an FYI, right? BlackRock is the company that Janelle met at an MTA conference, and they are based out of Ann Arbor. They are a company that is veteran-owned. All of them are Army veterans, and they have a lot of experience with cybersecurity. They're also an allied service provider through MTA. Like, they are recognized by MTA, and they strictly work with municipalities. So their quote originally was $1,200 a month, but that was for cybersecurity, everything imaginable, right? All the things. So the service we would get from any of these companies is going to be comparable in terms of IT support and cybersecurity and so on. Their $1,200 a month fee includes unlimited on-site support. So they come out here anytime we need them. They do anything we need at no extra charge. However, in light of the fact that we rarely ever need anybody to come out here, I asked them for a different package that didn't include that, and that was $1,000 a month. And they offer a discount of 5% if you pay upfront for the year. So that would reduce their fee to $950 per month. So that's about $60 more than VC3. They provide a brand new firewall with their onboarding cost, and their hourly expense, if we do need them to come out here, is $99 an hour. So for on-site support. However, they even said 99.5% of everything you need to do, we do remotely. So, and if we need new equipment, if we ordered new equipment, they would come out here free of charge, install it if we ordered through them. They install it, onboard it, put all their safety stuff on it, okay? So that is them. They do have, their contract was for 3 years, and it did not have an escalator on it that I saw. So I'm gonna assume that that's $1,000 a month for all 3 years. But
That's the way I read it.
yeah, they want a 3-year contract.
Yep.
So the
But with
third,
no escalator.
Can I glance at that, Teresa?
sure. So, but they do have a $3,500 onboarding fee, which includes their firewall and all of their coming in, changing over from the previous IT, putting all their stuff on, all their safety stuff on our stuff, and just making sure that everything is, I guess, up to snuff. And then the first 30 days are whenever they need us to come back out here, they come out here free of charge and so on. They do training with that, and cybersecurity, phishing tech, phishing, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Phishing scheme.
Testings,
No testing.
like
Yeah.
trainings on all of us, and they have a way that it's ongoing as well. And I think this was the company that it was available to the residents.
I believe so.
They have a
We did mention something
cybersecurity
about that.
unit, or they have like a phishing training thing that we could make
Training the
available
residents can
to
come to too.
the residents, and they could do the training module as well. So I thought that was kind of cool. So then the third company, which is out of, I believe Southfield or Madison Heights, again, it's a Michigan company. It's called Global Solutions Group, GSG, and they have, all the same stuff. They have an all-inclusive price, which is $1,362 a month. I think I had put that in that email to you, Janelle. $1,362. So their 1 year price was $16,350, compared to BlackRock's, which would be $11,400, and VC3's was 10,700-ish. So, it's more expensive, but they don't have any additional costs per hour if they need to come out on site and fix anything, do anything. So, those are the things, those are the three companies that Kevin and I basically interviewed, tried to get all the information so we could compare apples to apples.
I just had a quick question, so, and I was very impressed, I know I mentioned this when I met with BlackRock, but this does say there's a minimum annual increase of 5% each year.
Okay.
Do you know how they calculate that? Like, how do we, I mean, what, could it be 20%? Like, how do we know? It just says the prices for services provided under this agreement shall be subject to a minimum annual increase of 5% each year to cover the cost of inflation in doing business. The annual price adjustment will take effect in quarter 1 of each year. So, I mean, I suspect they're not gonna go crazy on us, but
The way I read it, I think they're probably the 5%, isn't it?
I
I'm
just,
guessing.
I just noticed that minimum.
Okay.
Did they mention anything, like when you talked to them about any of that?
I thought this was a 3-year contract, and
That's
because,
what
It does say that it's a 3-year contract, but I just had remembered seeing that increase of 5%.
We'll have to ask them.
And then of course, just now, of course, I'm like, well, that's a minimum. Yeah, I just was curious if they had mentioned anything.
I don't recall.
Okay.
You know, they stressed over and over that, I mean, all of them basically stressed, except maybe VC3, who I didn't get to talk to as thoroughly as I had hoped because they didn't return my calls, right? I didn't check my voicemail this morning because I told them, we're making a decision this week. We need to hear from you. But, yeah, so.
Well, in saying that, just so you know, that doesn't deter me from, I like this company from my experience, but what I will also tell you about VC3, I do think they're a little bit cheaper for your monthly rate, but what I have noticed just in the little bit of information that I've seen from the other companies, I think they make up for it in what they charge us for, hardware, or like computers, the firewall. Their prices do seem to be a little bit higher
Sure.
than some of these other companies. So my guess is really at the end of the day, they may not be too different at all.
Plus their hourly rate if they have to come out on site.
Right.
I mean, interviewing them, I like BlackRock. Veteran-owned company from Ann Arbor, them guys seem very sharp, nice guys. I have complete confidence that we would be getting better service with them than what we are getting now.
Well, I trust your opinion, so
I remember both of these other companies stressed how they will work with us. They, you know, our municipalities are their specialty. I mean, Global Solutions, they are cybersecurity for some huge companies, huge departments and so on. And they, you know, made it a point of telling us that they will treat the small municipalities just as good as they do the large entities, right?
And I'm sure Global is a great company. I just think they're probably more than what we actually need.
I think that maybe, the way it was explained to me was the bad actors, the hackers, whoever's out there in the global community trying to get into, other people's stuff are looking for the low-hanging fruit. They're looking for the easy targets. They're looking for the people who don't have protection. All you need is some, and I'm not a layperson in this, but the way it was explained to me was, if they encounter difficulties getting in, they will move on to the next entity because there are plenty of entities out there that are easy to get into. So the way it was explained was, you know, you need to go for the low-hanging fruit, get your bases covered in the low-hanging fruit, and then an extra layer of protection on top of that. Anything you do above and beyond that may be not necessary, and so I do think that all three of these companies would cover the low-hanging fruit and the extra layer of protection. I think Global would add that extra on top of that we may not need. I mean, the track record of each of them has been fantastic. So in terms of that, I think we can't go wrong choosing the enhanced security of VC3 or the package of BlackRock or Global. But I personally think that based on our experience with VC3 and the amount of time that it takes for us to accomplish things, I feel more confident going with BlackRock.
You wanna make the motion, Teresa?
Any other questions?
I've got a comment.
Sure.
In my experience with escalation clauses, that may be intended to read, they'll annually adjust their price based upon the cost of living or 5%.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I was trying to see if
That's
that
what I
was
was
the
thinking too,
language.
Jim, when
I've seen those before.
Okay.
So, going where I think you're going, I'm okay with BlackRock, just clarify what they want. If it's a deal breaker, then we'll convene again.
Well, and two, you had mentioned the upfront, I don't know what, your thoughts were on paying upfront, but if there's a 3-year upfront, you can't really increase it.
Right.
well, you can pay for, he told us that.
Yeah.
He said you can pay for 3 years
That's what I
upfront if
mean,
you want to.
there's no
And you get-
increase if we're,
You get 10% discount if you
Yeah.
pay for 3 years.
I was gonna say, if we pay for 3 years, I believe Teresa's right, it was 10%.
Yes, 10%.
It was 5%
yeah,
if
no,
you did
that's what I
yearly.
was looking at.
So if we decided we did wanna pay for 3 years upfront, then we're 10% discount.
And no
And
inflation
no
or.
And
escalation.
it's about $36,000.
So it would be 36,000 minus 10%, so 32,400.
Is there any way to protect us if they go out of business?
That would
That's a good question.
It may not be, Teresa.
I don't know, but he did say that most municipalities choose the 1-year annual with the 5% discount. He's like, rarely do we ever have somebody who chooses the 3-year upfront, and it's mostly because of the fact that townships are bound by their annual budgets.
Right, that's true.
That, we have to approve a budget every year, so therefore, most municipalities do choose well, he didn't say most, he said a lot of them choose to pay the annual fee.
Without some manner of personal guarantee, it does frighten me
Yeah.
to pay 3 years in
Yeah.
advance.
I agree.
Well, and it is a new service, we hate to get ourselves stuck into I don't think they're
I
gonna.
got a feeling that if we took them for a year and we're really happy, and next year in our budget, if we said, hey, let's see if they'll switch us to a new 3-year contract, I got a feeling for the money, they'd renegotiate pretty quickly.
You guys, you all know it's personal
Yeah.
interaction.
Yeah.
Warm up to them and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really did like these guys, so I think they'll be a great upgrade for us.
Well,
Go
then,
with it.
I'll make a motion, okay? I'll make a motion that we contract with BlackRock Technologies of Ann Arbor for our computer IT, for our IT support and our cybersecurity in their safety and security package that is $1,000 a month for a 3-year contract as suggested in their paperwork, and that we replace any damaged equipment and computers, all of our computers, through the company BlackRock Technologies.
I'll second it.
Just,
Did I forget something?
well, no, this one did say 1,200 per month. Oh, no, but that's right, with the modified. It's
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm
the
on
modified.
the same
Yep.
page.
I have that on my,
Yes,
in my
That's on
email, and
the-
I cannot print
you
it.
did say that, thank you.
Laura, would you do a roll call for us, please?
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills,
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
I guess we won't have much public comment today.
No public comment.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn at 9:28.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.